Hello, everyone. Adam here from Three Count Radio, and today I have the loudmouth of British Indies, Charlie Crothers. How are you doing?
That's quite the intro. Yeah. Fine.
Right wrong?
It's quite. It's yeah. I'm not bad. It's nice to know that you've decided to pop yourself down to the pound shop after all the guests that you've had on here, and then you've decided to come and get like a one-off cheap deal on there.
You've got to fluctuate, haven't you, a little bit?
Yeah.
You've got to fluctuate. Once you have a big name, and you've got to go down a bit. No, honestly, I don't mind. It's fan to fan with this one. This is a podcast where it's fan to fan. We can have a laugh. We can just chill.
Yeah, exactly.
No pressure, no fuss with this one, no pressure.
No.
How are you doing anyway, pal? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Luckily, we're getting out of this mess, hopefully, within the next month. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird to think that like the first show is back in 2 weeks' time, well, less than 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, my mum told me that, and it threw me a bit. That
it's really weird.
That threw me. I was thinking, about 2 months down the line. Something. No, 2 weeks. Yeah, okay. That threw me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it though. Future Shock's going to be absolutely incredible.
It's a weird one because we've seen the roster announcements. We've got people like Holly Barlow, who's a former guest of the podcast. There you go. There's a plug.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. This is the testing of your editing skills. This.
Yeah. This is the testing on if I edit it out or not. That's the testing. That's the real test. And if I do actually edit this out or not.
Yeah, done. Actually, that's ridiculous. So where were we? Oh yeah. Yeah, so is it a week on Sunday?
I think so.
Yeah. So you've got people like Chris Ridgway, the Young Guns, the Big Guns Joe, who's another former guest of the podcast. You see, this is where the plugs come in.
Get watching. Get watching, everyone.
Exactly, yeah. Who else have we got? Lana Austin, who has decided to eat a sour apple.
I went through this quite a lot with Holly. I'm looking forward to see Holly kick her ass. I used to love Lana Austin up until that heel turn on Holly.
It's weird. It's weird because you never saw, because you didn't go to the last show before it all went to pot. It was, your mum just went.
Yes. I think if I'm not mistaken, I had work and I just couldn't get out of it.
Yeah. So she came out to some punk rock version of Paint It Black, and it's okay, that works.
I mean, she can't really come out to Venga Boys, can she?
It works. It still works. I can't even remember who else we've got on the
basically all the greatest hits, but DDL as well. That's got to be fantastic.
Oh yeah, and it's been ages since
got everyone. It just feels like Future Shock.
Yeah, and then we've got Lizzie Evo as well, who decided to pop her head in She actually texted me when that announcement got revealed, and she said to me, "It's typical that I don't wrestle for nearly a year and a half, and I have to make my return in Manchester. How typical is that?" And it's like,
yeah.
I just said, well, you can't exactly brag that Liverpool are champions anymore, so you'll be fine.
That's the gutting thing with this gimmick. Liverpool finally, after all this time, win the league, and she can't brag about it because the season after is done. The season after it is done, and it's not been a good season for Liverpool. So for her, that must have sunk deep. That must have sunk deep for her.
Yeah.
Imagine the heat she'd have gotten. She'll still get heat. She'll still get nuclear heat regardless. Like, she will still get heat regardless. She's a Scouse wrestler in Liverpool. In Manchester, sorry, she'll get heat.
She's a Scouser anywhere and she'll get heat. This is the thing.
Other than Liverpool, yeah. A Scouse outside Liverpool gets heat.
Well, she actually, like... I was discussing this with her the other day, actually. She actually gets booed in TNT as well when she's supposed to be a babyface. She gets heavily booed.
I forgot who it was. I was discussing this with, like, wondering if she would actually get booed in Liverpool, but yeah, I mean, she's a good heel. She gets being a heel. She's a very good heel. So yeah, I guess. It's a bit weird that though. Scouts are getting booed in Liverpool. Well, I guess not a lot. The demographic, not the football demographic, so I don't know how many people will be watching football as well.
I worked this out the other day, actually. We've known each other now for 4 years.
You and Nizza? I was?
No, me and you. Yeah, we've known each other for
2017. 2017, my first Feature Shot show was 2017. Madness.
Yeah. Mine was long before that.
Yeah, I know that much.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Pete Dunne match that I wanted to get into the indie scene for a bit. And it's the Pete Dunne match that got me. And my mum taught me.
Was it Pete and Son? I
think it was.
For the Adrenaline title. Pete won.
3-2.
Yeah, Pete won. Yes. Pete won the title.
And the thing with that was my mum. My mum went in and talked. Well, obviously, I went with my mum. She brought me in. And then I was like, okay, this is just the best thing ever. And then my mum, after the show, I just see her walking off. I was like, where are you going to? Get in the next tickets. There we go. There you are. We were hooked since then. We were hooked.
And there you go. Yeah. It's like that.
Speaking of, I think this is a good segue. Because I don't think I was very good at my segues last time. Well, that was on the radio.
Well, you get used to them. You get used to them.
That's my segue into the indies, not into wrestling, but into the indies.
Yes.
With you, what got you into pro wrestling as a whole?
Oh God, right, okay. So my grandma used to run a alternative golf club in the middle of Manchester, called the Banshee. And when it was around, it was the most popular alternative nightclub in the country, and people would travel from all over the country to go to this club. And she met my granddad through that, and he was an electrician for events and doing lights and all that sort of stuff. And one of the first shows I went to can remember was, I want to say 2005, 2006.
Mad.
People like Dean Allmark and Jodie Fleisch and Johnny Storm, that sort of people. Anyway, so that sort of came about because my granddad was doing the electrics for the venue. So I basically got in there for nothing. Freebies are always the best thing, but
can't contain that a bit of a freebie.
Yeah. So it was basically from there. So that's what 10, 11, 12. I can't be bothered doing the fucking maths. This isn't a maths podcast. This is a fucking wrestling podcast.
I got any reset it, got a D. Don't worry. We'll
do the maths
in this podcast. Don't worry about that, pal.
You do the maths. Stick your long division up your ass. It sort of went from there, and then we obviously, my brother was into it as well at one point. So we obviously started going to shows and whatever, and then we went to I think it was a SmackDown taping in about 2008. And no, it wasn't. It was 2010. We were sat, I want to say, the second row because of my eyesight. And Cody Rhodes was doing the whole "I'm dashing you look like a stupid, ugly idiot" thing. He, bear in mind, this was filmed for TV, and he went up to my dad during this TV tape with a bottle of mouthwash. Handed it to, bear in mind, somewhere here I've still got that bottle of mouthwash. It's disgusting, but I've still got that bottle of mouthwash that he handed to me dad and said, don't worry, it's got alcohol in it, you'll be fine. But what makes it even funnier is my dad's not English, he's Australian, so that made it even funnier, was the fact that he thought that he was British. But I wasn't really into it to start with. I just thought, what the hell's this? Because bear in mind, I just got in there for no reason, basically. And then I started doing it, and then I had a break for the reasons that we'll go into later on in the podcast anyway. But then, during that period of time, I had to say to myself, right, okay, I need somewhere to let my hair down and take myself away from what's going on. And that's where that came in. And at that point, I was basically traveling all over the country, seeing these shows. I've seen Rey Mysterio versus Ricochet in a Leeds nightclub for £10, and that was only in 2017.
Yeah,
so
imagine watching that and you're getting for a tenner.
No, I know, it's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
It's ridiculous.
The talent. Ray's almost 50.
Yeah, well,
Insanity how good he is. Or is it?
Yeah.
Insanity.
Yeah. But then I started, I wasn't, believe it or not, I wasn't always as loud as I am now. That was never always the case, because some of these people legitimately scare me. They were scary, scary people. And I'm not talking about the fake Undertaker that you used to get on those tribute shows that you got in the town hall.
Oh no. Speaking Max black leggings.
Yeah,
Local
exactly.
overcoat and
Yeah.
makeup. You get for what you get for the pound shop.
Yeah, exactly.
That one,
yeah. And then the rest was sort of history, really.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll go into it later on in the podcast about how everything sort of branched out and yada yada yada. But that's the base of it, anyway.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing with the indies. Where it's not like WWE. WWE, you've got this product, there you go. Whereas the indies, if you watch one product, you think, "Oh, I like that guy. Oh, I like that girl." You think, "Oh, okay." Now they're on this promotion. It's over here. Now they're over there. And then you find out different people, and it branches itself all out. That's why the indies are so great. And back when WWE poached a load of British indie stars, and people are crying out saying, "Oh, the indies are dead." They never die. The indies, they will never die. Look at so many young stars of the indies at the moment. You young guns, Holly Barlow, Tonga, Alexis Falcon, Izzy.
Those people that have had exposure. We're not even talking about the people who haven't had proper exposure. There's people like Lizzie and the Young Guns and Tonga who have been on like national television or the WWE work. Away from that, you've got so many other guys and so many other girls and tag teams and everything else. Yeah. It's not dead. Get that phrase out of you.
It won't die. Made to that, Stephen Kelly, like Chase Alexander, so many great stars. So many great stars.
Yeah.
It's great because I'm getting the feeling people are sick of hearing me say this, but it's like a family. It really is. You feel welcome at some certain ones. Some I've felt okay, maybe it's not for me. That's fine.
Yeah, I get that. Like, there's a difference between a show like Future Shock and a show like Progress.
Big difference, yeah.
Big difference. I've never felt like Progress is a family. I've never felt like
I've been to one Progress show. As you know, and that's the one where Tony Storm lost the title to Ginny.
Oh yeah,
it was sad. But then, hey, I met Tony Storm for the first time. I've seen her twice now, but I met her for the first time. And back then, like Tony was a megastar for me. She still is. I love Tony.
Yeah, she's brilliant. And it's great to see her like flourish within NXT, and it's like weird to think, okay, just a couple of years ago, I sat and watched this girl in a venue of 250 people for £15. Yeah, it's like
exactly. It's insane, isn't it?
It's weird. It is weird. Really weird.
It's really weird, but brilliant. Like when you think when you think of the Grizzled Young Veterans as well, like not one person has a bad word to say about them. Not one person. Everybody absolutely adores them because they are two of the best going right now.
Yes, they are. They had it all coming to them anyway. Like they knew it was coming. I certainly knew it was coming. Even when James Drake had that disgusting blonde streak in his hair, and the two of them, what was the name of the other one? Axel Rage, he buggered off. The two of them were the Blackpool Blondes, and it's like, right, yeah, okay. And then you had Zach Diamond Gibson when he actually had hair.
Yeah, that's a strange sight, isn't it?
And he pretended to have a Manc accent as well. Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll
Yeah.
just take that at face value. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll just
exactly.
take that at face value.
That happened. Yeah.
I'll just take that one at face value because I can't imagine that.
Well, just look back at really old footage. Yeah, it's
If I
weird.
want to, I think I'm going to leave that as is. I don't want my illusion of him broken. I want it to remain intact. I remember one of the shows that where you clap that and then it gets faster and faster and all that. We were doing that, and if I'm not mistaken, it may have been don't quote me, but it may have been a tables match against.
I know exactly which match you're talking about.
And
it was the anniversary show
like that
years ago.
And he goes, we're clapping and clapping, and the back just turns to the fans and goes, I'm not going to go any faster.
I'm not going to move any quicker.
And the fans, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. They get it. They get it.
Yeah.
They just get it. It's brilliant.
It's nice to see the Americans and the Canadians and the people from around the world going, oh, okay, these two have something. These two are really, really good at what they're doing. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but when you see people like that on a stage like that, and you sit there and you go, well, that is fantastic because I saw him go from here to there. And it's like, right, yeah.
100%, yeah. I completely get it, yeah. Because it's the same because I've only, compared to you, I'm a rookie when it comes to Future Shock. 4 years ago, still can't believe that, but yeah, 4 years ago, I started watching Future Shock. Now, you and I have seen Holly Barlow's rise.
You certainly have, yeah.
Now, for me, I've grown a special attachment to Holly as a babyface because you see these people start. There you go. Like you watch their journey from the beginning, who they were and who they grow to be. And in any storyline, any story whatsoever, when you see who they were and who they grow on to grow to be, it's great to see that development.
It is. It's great. It's fantastic. Another big example for me is somebody like Alexis Falcon, who completely, I want to say within the last 2, maybe 3 years, has really come into herself and made herself her character.
Yeah.
She's said this to me in the past. Her character is basically her drunk and on a night out.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah. So
a few too many bodies.
yeah, exactly. Away from that, you've got people like Sonna Durson. I remember sitting and watching Sonna Durson when he was 17 years old. And it's like, okay. And then just look at him now,
We were there live at Raw when he was in the squash match against Eric Rowan. Squash match or not, that means Raw are keeping tabs and they know he's there. That's huge for him. Squash match or not, but that's massive for him. And Helena missed it by going to the toilet.
Yeah. What did I miss? So you just missed Sonna Durson in the ring.
I know. The one time you choose to go to the toilet, you missed one of the biggest local talents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great though. He right now is good enough to be on that roster without a shadow of a doubt.
It's like that whole run that he did with the Adrenaline title, where it was, I think they called him the World Beater, Sonny Durson versus the World. I think that was the whole stick, and that was the gimmick that it was sort of portraying. And he beat Danny Hope, he beat Joey Hayes, he beat Rockstar Spud, he beat Flash Morgan Webster, he beat who else did he beat? I can't. Just about, Sam Bailey, Ashton Smith, a load of people. It was just bang, 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 bang. And at that time, it's like, right, okay, this guy at the moment is completely unstoppable.
Yeah.
Who's going to take this title away from him? And then Pete Dunne came along.
That's when I started. So I missed that.
People genuinely thought, right? People said, he's under a WWE UK contract. There is no way he is winning that title. And what happened? He won that title.
Mm-hmm.
And people lost it. They absolutely lost it. They were not. People were not expecting that at all.
It was incredible. It's a great match too. Like absolutely incredible match. I mean, come on, Pete Dunne and Sonny Durson. It's always got to be a classic, regardless. Those two are two absolute phenomenal talents. Pete Dunne's incredible. Sonny Durson's incredible. It goes without saying, but yeah, when you look at, I came in at the tail end of that. That's when I started watching.
Yeah,
the very tail end of that.
Say, you miss some absolute corkers.
Yeah, but then I've seen some corkers along the way as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Right.
No matter what, it's a great thing. No matter what time you start watching,
this is
you're gonna catch up and see corkers, and different people will gravitate to different wrestlers, and then that's the wrestler that will keep you coming.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy actually of how, like, because there's a lot of people that go there for a certain wrestler and stay for. That is why the thing with Sonny worked so well.
Yeah,
was because, was because the big name was being brought in to face this guy that, well, I don't want to say nobody had ever heard of, but had been advertised a little bit smaller than the person that he's facing.
In comparison to Pete Dunne.
Exactly. Yeah, and the person that he's facing is the drawer of the is the main drawer of the situation. And the people who come in for the big star that they've seen on the telly or the NXT or the NXT UK stay for the people that they see for the rest of the show, building up to that one big star that's on the front of the poster.
Yeah. Imports like that.
Is that the right way of saying it?
I think so. Yeah, you get big imports like that, and it's great business because not only does it bring in crowds, but it puts over the great talent that you're putting in with that import.
Yeah, I remember going to Future Shock.
That came in.
I remember going to Future Shock moons and moons back, and they brought in Colt Cabana.
Oh yeah.
And the place was hammered.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he was there.
It was great business. If it's
Great
If it's
business.
booked well, everybody wins. They get money in the checks. They get money in the back pocket. If it's booked well, the import's gonna receive a great reception regardless. But if you book it correctly, the person he's in the ring with will also get a great reception because the person he's in the ring with, yeah, he's not the import's great, but the person he's in the ring with, he's the one that's staying. He's the one that the fans have gravitated to because we've seen him grow locally at this show. We haven't seen him become this. We've seen him become the person that he is today. The import will come and go.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. So, yeah, that's a good way of saying it, yeah.
We've had great imports. Wolfgang was a fantastic one that I think we took a little bit for granted. I think we took for granted how great of an import Wolfgang was.
I wouldn't call him an import. I wouldn't call him.
He stayed for a long time, even though he didn't need to because he was under contract with NXT UK at the time.
I don't think people expected him to stay as long as he did.
It was amazing. I didn't expect that at all.
We had a full year of Wolfgang. People and a full exactly.
You don't expect that at all. For someone of his stature, of his status, how good he is.
Around that time, think of it this way, right? The champions around that time, you had Spartan, who was the women's champion. You had Wolfgang, who was the Adrenaline champion, who was contracted to NXT UK. You had Ashton Smith, who was the Future Shock champion, who was contracted to NXT UK. You had the tag team champions of Chris Ridgway and Tyson T-Bone. Tyson T-Bone also being contracted to NXT UK. You know? Even that little stint that the Grizzled Young Veterans did after they won the NXT UK tag team titles, people weren't expecting them to stick around.
They lost their minds.
People did not expect them to stick around at all.
Do the best.
I tell you what, I would say that show, which was at the time the last show at the Guildhall, that aged well, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm not complaining either. I love the Guildhall.
No, I'm not complaining. I love the Guildhall. I think it's a fantastic venue. I think it's really intimate. I think I think it embodies your Future Shock feel more than anything else. So it's that show was loud. It was good. Yeah.
I was gonna say that and Press Switch, but no more Press Switch.
Yeah, I know that.
What a venue that was as well. So many memories. So many memories in Press Switch, and
there's a lot of memories in there for me.
I can't believe there's gonna be no more Press Switch for Future Shock.
Well, it was meant to be demolished about 4 years ago, so they've gone really well with it.
Yeah,
they've done really well with it. Fair play to them.
It's still sad. It's still very sad. It's a great venue, absolutely great venue. But we have to go though.
Think of the matches that we did see in that venue, though. We were one of only 2 promotions at the time to have a WWE title defended on an indie show. The other being ICW.
Pete Dunne versus Zach Gibson.
Exactly, yeah. And Zach Gibson at the time was part of ITV World of Sport. So,
We had Solidarson and McGregor for the Future Shot title. So many Queen Bee segments in BritWres.
I miss them.
So many. So do I.
I miss them. I can't wait to get back to shows and get to TNT, and TNT's version of the Queen Bees is
the She-Wolves. I had an absolute blast having Molly on here.
She's amazing.
The best.
She's amazing.
She is the best. She truly is amazing.
Sorry, what I meant to say was she's an absolute bitch.
And she loves you too.
Yeah, well,
I love her. I absolutely love her.
Yeah. Well, Durson and Pack.
That crossed my mind as well. That did cross my mind. Durson and Pack.
Durson and Pack. Yeah.
He had no idea about that as well. I had no idea about that.
I thought that was a really good, really nice touch. And you know, I don't think any of the staff knew either. Because looking back at that video, there's a video on the Facebook that Chris Brooker recorded live of the crowd. And like one of the best faces, like you had James Greenwood outside of the ring, absolutely gobsmacked of the thing. Then you have Isaiah Quinn on the laptop, doing the entrance music and the entrance videos. And you can see it. He just presses play on this video, not knowing what it is, and then he just goes. It's like, right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knew. I think the giveaway was like you see Abby and Lydia at the merch stand going mental as well. I went over to them and they had no idea whatsoever.
It was really, really well done. It was really, really well done.
And the match delivered tenfold. The match was so good.
Yeah.
Just we've been lucky with Future Shock, and I believe we're going to get even more lucky going forward. It's just how it is. It's just how it is at Future Shock. They are so good at what they do. They understand wrestling. They understand storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, like one of the sort of main stories, like since you've been going around and going to these shows, was the like massive year-long build of Sonna Durson versus Sam Bailey. And that whole thing where Sam turned on Sonna and he became a bit of a dickhead and he wouldn't talk to any, he sat on commentary with Rob, who again he's another star. He knows exactly what he's doing. He sat on commentary with Rob, and it was just gold. I also want to point out how amazing it was when one of the very few times that it happened when poor old Rob had to put up with Spartan for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which yeah.
Yeah, she used to always go over to the commentary table and just shout in the face.
It was great fun. It was, I shouted at her once, right? That whole thing that she did, with the introduction of Jayla and yada yada yada. The one time that I shouted at her, I've shouted at her once, and that was it, because she got right up in my face. And it's like, right, you know how much I shout at people, right? And how much I like to get a reaction out of people. That was one of the few times that I've gone, right, no, not for me, see you later. No chance, not a chance. So
one time. one show where I said I don't get why. I don't get why I did this, but I did. At Presswich, the entrance way you have to jump down, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, she got up, jumped down. They have the steel chair, the Queen Bee's chair. She launched it down at it was like at my feet, just battered on the floor. She got down, picked it up, looked at me, and just went, "Calm down. Big mistake." She just looks at me in my face and just goes like that. Just goes, "This is me, calm." I said, "Okay." I'm just okay. I'll sit in the corner, and we proceeded to sit there.
Yeah.
I was there watching the match going on. I think Casey was in the ring. I think, and she was just like literally inches sat away from me, and she just kept glancing over. I'm just like,
I think that was Holland's singles match debut where she beat Casey. She beat Casey, and it was this whole, oh my goodness, Jailers cost the Queen Bees again.
Mm.
And it was a massive thing as well, because even then Casey was a massive name.
Yeah.
Like, you know, former ICW Women's Champion 3 times.
Yeah.
Not once, 3 times. You know, and then for her to get beat by a Future Shock Academy graduate at the time.
Mm.
I say at the time because you obviously know where she's gone to now, and it's like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But it was, I want to say it's thanks to them, thanks to the Queen Bees, that a certain thing became a thing for me. Mainly because I had the piss taken out of me for cheering these loud Scottish and Irish women, rather than cheering for the lovable mank babyface that was Lana Austin at the time. And I think it was thanks to that a certain thing became a thing for me.
I have a book here. And if I'm not mistaken, many years ago, you put on "Sit Down, Shut Up." And is that what I'm thinking of? Is that what?
Yes, that's
what you're referring to here? Because I have that written down here. And I seem to have, during my research, my extensive research as a podcast journalist, I seem to recall JJ Webb and the Queen Bees very much enjoying your "Sit Down, Shut Up." Let's talk about that, shall we?
Yes, let's talk about that. First of all, right?
Your glasses are strong. Let's just say that.
What are you saying?
Your glasses are mental. They are strong. I put them on before JJ put them on. Before. No. It was before.
That's a separate situation. That's about 2 years down the line from this. JJ Webb is just JJ Webb. Yeah. Like, we'll get into that. First of all, so "Sit Down, Shut Up" was.
You borrowed my Lana Austin shirt.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. You saved me 20 quid. Sit Down, Shut Up.
If you win a Lana Austin shirt was worth it.
"Sit Down, Shut Up" was something that I came up with while I was. I spent a month in Australia. During, like, I want to say June 2018.
I remember that, actually. I remember you going
to I spent a month in Australia, and I was gutted because I was missing about 4, maybe 5 Future Shock shows during that month. During that month. It was anyway. So I said to myself, because the first show that I was missing was one of the underground shows. And I was literally missing it by a day, which really angered me at the time. Like, really angered me. So I thought, right, okay, screw the time difference. I've got jet lag anyway. I'm not going to sleep, so I may as well sit and watch these Facebook lives that they put up. Yeah. So I think it was the tag team All Bins legal match that happened between James Drake, Lana Austin, Molly Spartan, and DDL.
DDL.
So on the Facebook Live, so Molly was coming out with the title, yada. So she comes down off this ramp and goes straight to you lot and shouts straight in your right, goes straight to you, straight in your face. Right? So at that point I thought, hang on a minute. I could do something here as part of something for charity, because my mum was diagnosed with cancer about 7 years ago. It came out of nowhere. It literally did come out of nowhere, and at the time I wanted to give something back and try and raise a little bit of money for it. So I thought, you know what? I'm a loudmouth little shit.
Yeah.
Let's no argument from you there. Let's try and like spin that on its head a little bit. So that's where Sit Down, Shut Up came about. And then it escalated. And then it escalated a little bit more. And then it escalated a little bit more. Because the original idea was for me to just sit down and not say a word through the entire show. That was the original idea. And boy, oh boy, did it frigging escalate into all sorts of things from there. And it's like, so I put this thing up with the fundraising page and yada yada, to get the word out, everything else. And then I get a tweet from Future Shock Wrestling saying, we'll donate £100 if you wear a Lana Austin shirt. I'm like, right, okay.
You can't say no to that, can you?
So, but then I got a reply from Lana Austin, right, off the back of that, saying, I'll donate £100 if you don't wear one of my shirts. So that happened. And then I want to say it was September time. There was a 6-woman tag match between the Queen Bees, Lana Austin, Holly Barlow, and Shax. And I basically said, well, right, okay.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Shax, yeah.
Was it Holly Barlow and Shax?
Yeah, Holly Barlow, Shax, and Lana Austin.
Okay.
And I said at the time, right, if the Queen Bees lose clean, I'll stick a wig on as well. And lo and behold, they lost Queen and I ended up in a blonde wig.
I remember there being a 6-woman tag match, but it was Lana, Austin, Shax, and Viper.
That was the
timeline might be a bit.
That was the town hall show in May.
I think the town hall. I think I got the timeline off a little bit with that one.
Yeah, that was the town hall show in May.
Yeah, great show. That was another great one as well.
It was, yeah. And then this happened in the September. Anyway, so that and then I thought, right, okay, fair enough. A little bit of extra money in the pot, good, because I look like an absolute tit. So I thought, right, yeah, brilliant. A little bit of extra money in the pot, great. So I did that, and I honestly thought, right, okay, I'm not going to get much interaction out of this. So I thought, right, okay, yeah, this is going to be easy. You know, piece of piss. This is going to be easy. Not so easy when half of the roster are your mates, and decide to really take it to the next level.
No one's going to make this easy for you. If you're going to sit there and be quiet after so long of you being, as you said yourself, a loudmouth shit. That's from you. That is from you.
That is from me.
That's payback for them. That is their time to. Lana Austin, Money Spartan, all these people. That's their time to go back at you.
Well, in fairness, Lana did nothing. Lana did nothing.
Yeah.
We still talk about it now. She's still absolutely gutted that she didn't get a picture with me in that blonde wig in the Lana Austin shirt. She is gutted. She's still gutted about that.
There are still pictures, though, of you.
Oh, yeah.
There's that.
Oh, yeah.
And Molly took your glasses, which was
fantastic. So I wasn't allowed to talk during the interval either. And Spartan had brought her parents along.
Yeah.
It was quite funny because it was like one of the first times that they'd seen a wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the merch table. Obviously, can't speak, and she's going. So this is Charlie, and he's doing this charity thing, and he's being so rude, not talking to us, and it's like, right, yeah, I'm gonna be in. This is gonna be a bit of a thing. So that happened, and I raised 1,390 quid, nearly 1,400 quid, for the Christie cancer charity. Yeah, it is insane. It's ridiculous.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. That's brilliant. Anything beats for Christie is amazing, but that amount of money.
It's ridiculous how much that took off. It was just a small idea. It was a tiny idea for me to go, right, I need to give back here. Oh. And then it escalated into that, and I'm like, shit.
Thing is with that though, like we all know what's at stake, and we all know what you're putting into it. We all know where the money's going. It's a great cause. Why not go all out? And we did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I didn't kick up a fuss with the blonde wig and the Lana Austin shirt, because I thought, you know what?
It's fun.
If I make myself look like a tit, people will put money into the pot. It's that simple.
I mean, you should be used to that anyway.
I'm a tit anyway, put it that way.
Yeah. Just make yourself look like a bigger tit with the blonde wig and the Lana Austin shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm correct, you're planning on booking a show.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, right. So,
It's like where all those grey hairs have come from.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Christ on the bike. So first things first. Right, before this show comes about, I am doing a 10K in July for the Christie. Charlie's 10K for Christie.
Yeah. Yep.
What a shitty little name that is.
It's for Christie. Who cares? It's for Christie.
I've raised over $1,000 for that already. That's like 2 months in advance. I've raised over $1,000. Like, that's ridiculous.
Can't argue with it, can you? Can't argue with it.
But this was an idea that I came up with originally. As I was coming up with Sit Down, Shut Up at the time, I thought, right, that's never going to happen. You know, I've not got the connections that I need to be doing it. So put it to the back of your head. And then it's nearly a couple of years ago now. Jesus Christ! It's this year, isn't it? It's this last year and a half. Like, so,
I spent a fair bit of my podcast with Holly basically saying how 2020 was a complete write-off. So don't worry about it at all. It was just a complete write-off of a year.
So I had Catch Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We started talking, and they said to me, "Well, why don't we do a charity show? You can book the card as you see fit, and we'll see what we can do." And at that point, I'm like, "Okay, shit, this is actually happening. This is an actual thing. Oh my god!" It's like, fuck. That came about, and I honestly didn't think that people would be even in the slightest bit interested of jumping onto a project that somebody who's basically a nobody came up with. And then I put the call out, and it's like, all right, yeah, this could definitely be a thing now. Yeah. And it's like, right, okay. Just a quick plug here now, because I'm just going to put it here now, because they're doing the whole show with me anyway. Their second show on July 24th at the Manchester Academy, which is the second Great British Heritage Tournament, to crown the inaugural Catch Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. The belt is an absolute beauty. I've seen it. It's an absolute beauty. So far, you've got people like Chantel Jordan, the Descending Angel Lucia Lee, Alexis Falcon was announced this week. Rio, Clementine, that prick Lizzie Ivo, you know, it's a good little tournament.
Yeah.
You've got a couple more names to be announced for that, and then you've got a tag team match pitching the Heritage, who attacked Joe Nelson, at the last show, or Kid Lycos 2 at the last show, after he won the Great British Heritage Tournament, the first one. and they'll be going up against Lycos Gym, Kid Lycos and Kid Lycos 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a Manchester Academy as well, so no messing about. Anyway, so
if you've got any time or money, make sure to get down.
It's a bit like for the card that you're getting for like £17.50. For £17.50, and you're not gonna like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get in. Just get in. Like, anyway, so this sort of became a thing, and I'm like, right, okay. And yes, I can say this on the podcast because it's not going to happen. So the original plan for me was they wanted me to do something with JJ Webb. Yeah. So they said, right, we're gonna put you on commentary with JJ Webb.
That would be interesting to see.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Right, okay, fair enough. Right. Well, the thing is with me, and this is what I said to management, was one of the things that I want out of this show is unpredictability. I don't want people looking at what's going on or the card that's being announced and going, right, this is going to happen.
Yeah, I get that.
Absolutely not. I want people going in there with some uncertainty.
I get that.
With a little cog in their mind going, right, okay, is this really going to happen? Is this going to happen? You know, being a fan for so long, I know how disappointing it is to walk out of a show feeling underwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that talent's not through the roof, because it is. It's absolutely through the roof. Don't you dare sit there and tell me that the scene is dead. It's not. I will tell you, that there's Made to Last, Young Guns, Merseyside Mercenary Squad. You've got, for the women, you've got people like Gia Adams and Ivy and Lizzie Evo and Holly Barlow and men-wise, you've got people like DDL, JJ Webb, the list goes on.
Joey Hayes, Chrissy
Joey Hayes, Sonna Durson,
Big Joe.
Joe.
The list goes on. The list goes on.
Reese, Will Cruz, So it's doable, anything to. But I never thought in any circumstance it would ever get to this point where I'm going, right, I'm actually going to be running a show here.
It must be surreal.
It's so weird to me. It's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder that I'm not going to be sat on the front row watching this show unfold. That's the weirdest thing. But
you're going to be up there, aren't you? You're going to be.
I don't think people want to see me flapping backstage because somebody's missed their fucking entrance cue or something like that,
Yeah. I mean, it's insanely difficult to run a promotion, to run a show. It's so difficult.
It's a skill in itself.
Yeah. It's something I think a lot of people take for granted.
It's a skill in itself, and you have to do it right.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's like that's why Future Shock have been going for 16 years.
Yeah.
That's why.
Consistent brilliance.
That's exactly consistent. That's why places like Tidal have done so well.
Yeah.
Like in the little vegan cafes, and they've moved now from the vegan cafe which got knocked down to the Leeds City Museum. The Leeds City Museum. Like,
there you go.
I'm not being funny, but you can't be shit at running a show and running a place like that.
Exactly. I agree, 100%. 100%, I agree.
Places like, look at what Culture did, what Defiant did. Like, they went to the States. They sold 1,300 tickets at a time in these massive ice hockey arenas. You know, it's ridiculous how, like, you look at promotions like Progress and ICW now, who are a regular feature on the WWE network.
I still can't believe that now.
Come on.
I still can't believe that now. It's weird to me in the best way.
It's so weird. But you know, over the years, because of my loud mouth and I've had some interesting interactions in the past. Some funnier than others. It's coming up to the 4-year anniversary that I bought Jushin Thunder Liger gravy and chips. And he had, seriously, right? So he had absolutely no idea what this was, no idea what gravy and chips was, but he was hungry and he needed something to eat.
Oh, dear, no.
He was hungry and he
wow.
needed something to eat. He was hungry, right?
It was the only staple.
And it was funny. It was funny. And then there's a couple of years ago. I can't believe I keep having to say a couple of years ago now. Right. So a couple of years ago, my dad and I went down to Camden, the Electric Ballroom for like the Progress National Progression Series. And I spoke to the ring announcer or the MC at the time, Jim Smallman.
Oh yeah,
and I said to him, right, I'm coming down from Manchester. My dad has no clue what I'm doing here. Will you take the piss out of him for me? And he did exactly that.
Good.
Good. It was absolutely hilarious, but my dad wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the day. It was for the rest of the week. Sorry, he was absolutely fuming. So
that's how it is.
They did. I don't know. Did I ever show you this?
I don't think so.
If I've not shown you this, I'll send you the video after this.
Yeah.
So he came up with this bloke came up with the idea of a dad off, right? So there was another bloke a couple of rows down from me who'd also brought his dad, so they got him up as well. So it was his dad versus my dad, right? In this
never ends well.
In this dad off, right? So so the first thing he sort of asked was what's your job? And my obviously the first thing he said to my dad was, "Well, first of all, you're Australian, so fucking good start for you. You're not going to get very far there." So he obviously said, "Oh, right, I'm a physio." So he took the crowd didn't know what to do, so he didn't know whether or not to cheer or boo. So the bloke just stood there and went, "Oh, well, he went to school. Ooh, yeah." It's like, yeah. Compared him to a character in Neighbours, you know.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah. Don't. It was bad. But what made this even funnier was the bloke that he was facing in this dad-off was a retired London Underground train driver. So he had no fucking chance. He had no chance. Not in London. He had no chance. Anyway, he lost.
Yeah.
He lost. Yeah, that was something. And then the month after, Helena and I went to the show in Manchester, and I ended up on the guest list, pushing in front of 300 people that had queued there since 10 o'clock in the morning to get the best seat. And we just turned up, and we had this big burly security guard come to us and go, you're expected in. It's like, right, yeah, okay.
I bet they loved you.
Yeah.
If there's one thing we love in Britain, it's queuing. If there's one thing we love even more, it's when you see someone on the guest list, after you've been queuing for about 5 hours, walk straight in. Yeah. We love it. We love it.
You said, yeah. Oh, it was funny. But the best thing about the whole British wrestling thing for me, and we mentioned it before, was it is like a family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position now where I am basically going to shows and I'm watching actual mates, absolutely kill it.
Yeah.
You know?
And the weirdest thing for me is I'm going to go back to Future Shock having interviewed off the bloody roster. So I don't know how, it's going to be very odd. Like my mum's looking at me going, you're going to go back as a local celebrity? I'm like, this is weird to me. I love it. You're wrong, but they're going to look at me and go like Alibaba, Ethan, Big Joe, as I agree, I've interviewed all of them. And like, it's mad to me that I've interviewed a lot of the roster. Like, well, not a lot. Like,
and then you interviewed Molly Spartan before her. Well, I don't want to say it wasn't before her steel cage match.
Oh yeah.
Sorry to ruin the magic there.
Yeah, that fourth wall's just been broken down over there.
Yeah, right down. Bang, bang. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's great. It's just fantastic to see people that you like just grow, and it's so nice that I am able to sit there and go, well, you know what? Away from this mouthy little shit, you know, behind that is a mate of mine.
Yeah. And
it's like, okay, yeah, this is really, really nice. It's the nicest thing that for me is going
watching
right.
Progression.
It's not like watching progression, but it's seeing them knowing that they're doing what they love.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, it's like I want to say it's about 2 years ago now. It was Defiant Lights Out in Leeds, and I was sat at the top of the balcony because of the way that the Leeds Academy works. Like they like it to be an all-standing venue. So I have to ring the venue to say, right, okay, I can't stand, I need to sit down. So I end up on the balcony with a load of the wrestlers and the wrestlers' families, and it's fucking weird, and it's like, it was like this big massive thing that, okay, it's going to be Kanji versus Lizzie Styles.
Yeah.
Kanji got injured.
Okay.
Poor old soul can't really seem to catch a break because every single time she gets up there, she gets knocked right back down by an injury, and it's awful. God help her. It's awful.
It sucks. It really does suck.
Absolutely awful.
Sometimes
Anyway,
that's the case.
so she had to relinquish the title, and you know there was still a match. Like, you know, Lizzie played on the fact that Liverpool were playing, so she said, "Oh well, you're chatting pure shit. You're not injured. I'm fucking missing Liverpool playing because of you. Get out of it." So she faced Lana instead, and she won the title. And it's like, right, yeah, okay. And the moments, being there for moments like that, for like people that, like, away from the glitz and the glamour and the lights and everything else, I'd like you genuine mates with. It's like,
it's like watching the Young Guns finally win the titles.
Yeah,
that was such an emotional moment.
That got me.
The Young Guns are such great lads. Ethan's such a great lad, and they're both amazing. Both such great talents, and it was such an emotional moment watching them win the titles. Watching so many people, from Janet to Lucy Openshaw, crying. It's just, it even got me. Absolutely incredible.
It was fantastic. Like, fair play. That was a great little moment.
Watched that back. A couple, 1 or 2 months ago, I watched that match back. Incredible.
So it's weird, but it's so nice. It's so nice. Because honestly, if I wasn't who I was, being gobby and doing all this and yada yada yada. We'll talk about JJ Webb in a minute, the little prick. I don't think I would be in a position where I'm running a show in one of the biggest venues in the city.
True.
With some of the most talented people I have ever met in my entire life. Like, they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess it is. It's one of those ones where you actually take a step back and appreciate what you've got.
Yeah.
You can take so much. It's been said a couple of times in this podcast alone. You can take so much for granted, but I think one thing that this past year has done is it's allowed us to take a little bit of a step back and look at what we've got.
It's made me think about a lot of things. Because like a lot of things with me have happened away from the current situation on top of it.
Yeah.
It's been quite a ride, quite a bit of an interesting thing to go through. But yeah, it's made you think.
Yeah, it does. It does. And one of the things I think you've been thinking of is getting in the ring.
Right.
Oh, CLAW. Letting Lizzie train you. The person you've heckled for so long now has power over you.
Now has the absolute pleasure of punching me in the face. Yeah.
Beating the shit out of you, yes.
Yes.
The Liverpool case headbutting you.
Don't. It's so right. Right. So the story behind this, right, was I just sort of thought, right, after sorting out the 10K and saying to myself, right, okay, I'm going to do this 10K, which is a massive thing for somebody with cerebral palsy, by the way.
Huge.
Right?
Huge. Fair play to you, mate.
Like, my mobility isn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to do something like a 10K is massive. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to start, shooting off some emails to some schools. And I did exactly that. And I got 2 rejections from 2 schools because of the fact. I think they were a little bit worried that I've got cerebral palsy and they hadn't taught anybody with the needs that I do, which I completely understand.
Yeah, I can understand it.
I completely
it's a difficult
understand. One. So for those who aren't aware, like Lizzie Evo is my best friend. She's my best mate. So I sort of rang her at that time, and I just said, look, I've got 2 rejections from 2 schools here, and I've got no clue where to go next because I don't want to be traveling to the other side of the country to have to be able to train.
Yeah.
So she said to me, right, that's enough of that shit. You know, we're not listening to all that bollocks. I'm becoming one of the head trainers of the new school that TNT have launched, Core, which coincidentally is open tonight. As we record this. So she said to me, I'll do it. One of the things that sort of sticks with me is she said, training you will be like not training a normal person because you're a mate. So yeah, that was nice. That was nice. And there was a point a few weeks ago that she was doubting herself quite a bit about her ability as a trainer because she'd never been a trainer before.
That's natural.
And that's natural, and that's understandable. And I just had to say to her,
yeah.
That's completely natural, completely understandable. I mean, you've got to put it into perspective here. This girl's 22.
Yeah, I know.
This girl's 22 and she's been wrestling 8 years, right? Ridiculous. So she sort of messaged me and said, look, when you put your trust in me to be like the person to lead you through it, that sort of made a light bulb go off in my head of going, right, okay, I can actually do this. And that got to me a little bit. That's like, right, okay, this is like, it's so nice to hear something like that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not looking forward to that first right hook, but or that first bump. But
yeah.
You know, it's. I'm in the right hands. That's another thing, because we all know that over the last year and a half that British wrestling has taken a bit of a different turn, for obvious reasons. So in my mind at the time, it's like, right, okay, I can't just be training here with any old person. That's not the way it's going to work. You know, I can't just, because we've also got to put into perspective the needs that I have as well.
Of course, yeah, makes sense.
So I spoke to another one of my mates who's a wrestler, and I told her about what I was doing, and she said, it's fine, it's okay. I've wrestled somebody with one leg. It's like, yeah, okay.
That's the thing. It can be done. There's certain aspects where you need to be careful. Of course, they're going to need to look out for certain aspects because of circumstance.
I'm a lot fitter than what I was 2-3 years ago. 2-3 years ago, if you would have told me that I would have even considered the fact, I would have laughed in your face, because I was unfit, big time.
I know the feeling.
Unfit. So that happened. But the main, like, yeah, I'm looking forward to a new challenge, and I'm also looking forward to proving people wrong.
That's the main thing.
Proving people wrong is going to be the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
That is going to be the best feeling in the world. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait. Because, but there's nobody that I would trust more than Lizzie to do that with me. Because, again, legitimately, she's my best friend.
Yeah, Lizzie's great. Lizzie truly is a great person in general, so...
No, she's not. She's an absolute knobhead, and and that bloody scarf can be flushed down the toilet.
I agree with you on that one. That's what I agree with you. How the fuck they've finished it both ways, I don't know, but she never fucking think out loud. I haven't dropped an F-bomb in this podcast, and that's made me do it.
How we got those last 3 games, I will never know. My God.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm going to have to take a drink of rum after that disgusting comment.
I think after that bombshell, too, after that bombshell of Liverpool somehow creeping its way in, this is a 2-parter.
Yes.
And to try and hold the first part going any longer, because we've gone for quite a while. Is there anything you'd like to plug before we move on to the second segment?
Keep an eye on Catch Pro Wrestling's Twitter for when the show gets officially announced. it's definitely going to be something that you're not going to want to miss. Blood, sweat, and fucking tears have gone into this show. It's ridiculous. So trust me, you're going to get a show and a half. I wouldn't have it any other way. And then obviously you've got my other fundraiser, because one fundraiser isn't enough. So I'm going to shove another one down your throats. I've got the 10K on the 10th of July, which I'm sure Adam will put the link in the description or something like that.
Adam will.
Yeah. Right.
So there we have it. Two very noble and very great causes right there. Thank you, everyone. And that is part one sorted.